Which one of these coins are more valuable? Now sure, as Americans, we know the answer to that. But I'd like for you to keep this image in mind for just a few minutes as I talk to you about our inner circles. In other words, the people that we spend the most time with. But first, let me ask you a question. Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with, besides your immediate family? Now, here's a little tougher question. Are they growing? Or did they seem to be stuck? Maybe there's been very little positive change for a long time. Ask yourself, are they just getting by? And maybe after thinking about it, is it possible they might be going in the wrong direction when it comes to your idea of fulfillment and personal success? Now, I suggest you take some time to really think about this. Because Jim Rohn once said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And he said, if we rated success on a scale from 1 to 5, and the people we spend the most time with average out to be about a 3, then we can pretty much bet that we aren't going to be much higher. Now that's something else to really think about, isn't it? And I don't know about you, but after thinking about it and taking a little inventory of my own life, and then taking the time to think about where the people I hung around the most were going, I really have to agree with him. We were all pretty much the same, doing the same old thing, thinking the same old way, doing the same things. You see, but in that group, I was the dreamer, the one who was going to do something, to break free, to be successful and to live my dream. I was the talker. Now, my friends thought that was great, and they encouraged me to. But because I was secretly afraid to venture too far from home and my group of friends, I stuck around, making excuses of not wanting others to get the idea that I didn't care for them, to think I might be ungrateful for the life I already had, or to think I thought I was trying to be better than them. But deep down, the truth was, I was afraid of change, and I used all kinds of excuses to stay that way. I just didn't want to admit to anybody or myself that deep down, I was afraid to change myself. Now, talking about change at the time made me feel a little better about myself, but it didn't really fool anybody, including myself. Now, I want you to know the fear of losing our friends is real. And the disappointing thing is when we finally do decide to reach for our dreams and goals, our current inner circle of friends aren't likely to want to take that journey with us. They're just not going along for the trip. But think about it. Something has got to change if we expect to be changed and to become the person capable of living out our dreams. And that means we can't spend all of our time with the same people who've been thinking just like us. Einstein once said, we can't solve our problems with the same level of thinking that we used when we created them. And I think it was him that also said, it is insanity to expect a change by doing the same old thing. So to improve our lives, we have to improve our thinking. And that means seeking out better thinkers to learn from. That means less time with the old gang who thinks a lot like we do now, and more time with the new gang, people who think higher thoughts, people who think differently than we do. Now notice I said to spend less time with the old gang. Now that doesn't mean no time. We can still be friends, but we're going to have different goals and be living different lives. And you know, there's no judgment or condemnation about how a person chooses to live. But we also have to remember, we don't have to follow the crowd. And I know it's tough sometimes. Oftentimes, we unintentionally offend our old inner circle of friends. They often will want to spend less time with us than before because we're talking about new things that our inner circle's doing or talking about or might have done. They might even start to resent us. They might start to talk about us or even avoid us. Now, why do you think that might be? Well, I think it's because our excitement can be a turnoff to them for various reasons. And with their new attitude and behavior toward us, we can experience levels of anger, shame, or even guilt. And that's just part of the price of growing into the person we have always wanted to be. Change is uncomfortable. So sometimes our inner circle shrinks naturally, just like the image you see now. You see, A nickel is nice, and looking at it, it seems that it should be more valuable than the smaller coin, right? But we all know it's not. The smaller one has more spending value than the larger one. Now, I think we can all get the analogy by now, can't we? A bigger circle of friends doesn't always mean the best circle of friends. The more valuable circle is the one that we can learn from, work toward common goals with, the circle that challenges us to take chances and to learn, the circle that will cause us to stretch and grow. Now, the best inner circle will never make us feel guilt or shame by moving in the direction of our dreams. They won't try to hold us back. So I suggest check your life, check your inner circle, and form a relationship with at least one person outside your current circle, one that will challenge you to grow and change. Start turning your nickels into dimes.